In this video, we're going to work on examples 3.14 to 3.19 out of your book. If you would like to follow along, go to My Courses, open up the file Chapter 3 classwork.xlsx from My Courses, and click on the EX 3.14 worksheet tab. We talked before about how to scroll through the different worksheet tabs. So scroll through until you can see EX 3.14 to EX 3.19, which we're going to be working on in this video. In example 3.14, we're going to be filtering records. To filter records is to show only those records that meet certain criteria. So in the first time, we're going to filter our records so that we only see bolt nut packages. So what we're going to do is we're going to click any cell within the list. It doesn't matter as long as we click any cell within the list. We're going to click the Data tab. There's a Sort and Filter group. We're going to click the Filter icon. Once we click the filter icon, you're going to notice that we have down arrows under all of the column headers. What we're going to do is we're going to click the down arrow in column D next to item description. We're going to uncheck the box that says select all, and we're told in this example to just choose our bolt nut package. So we're just going to select bolt nut package, and notice that we could select multiple items if we wanted, so we could select 3 or 4 items. But in this one, we're only choosing bolt nut package, and we click OK. Notice that for every column we have a down arrow, except for column D, it has a different symbol, and it shows that column D is the one that it is filtered by. If we want to get back to all of our records, you can either click the column D filter icon and just say clear filter from item description, or in the Data tab in the Sort and Filter group, you can click the clear button. So that's all we had to do in example 3.4. Let's move on to example 3.15, where we're going to filter records by item cost. So we're going to click on the 3.15 worksheet tab. We're going to click any cell within the list. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be in the column that we're filtering by. And then click that Data tab, and in the Sort and Filter group, click your filter icon. Now in this case, what we want to find is all of our items that cost $200 or more. So we want to filter column E. Now what a lot of my students did last year was they just unchecked the select all and just chose all of those items that were greater than $200. There's a much easier way to do this. We're going to click the down arrow under item cost, because again we want to filter by item cost. If it was cost per order, we'd click the down arrow in G, but we want to find all those items that cost $200 or more. So we're going to click the down arrow in column E, and we're going to choose number filters. So notice under the number filters we have equals, does not equal, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, between, top 10, and we can apply a custom number filter. We're going to select greater than or equal to, so click greater than or equal to, and we have item cost is greater than or equal to. We're just going to type the number 200. We're not going to apply another filter, and we click OK. Now we can also apply successive filters. So let's say we wanted all of those items that cost over $200, but only from certain suppliers. Let's say, for example, aluminum sheeting. So after applying my number filter, I could also apply a filter to the supplier by choosing aluminum sheeting And notice I now have a double filter. So I can clear my filters one by one, or I can clear both of them in one fell swoop by making sure that I'm on the Data tab. In the Sort and Filter group, I'm just going to click Clear. Now we're going to work on exercise 3.16, where we're going to construct a frequency distribution for items in the purchase order database. So we're going to click on the EX 3.16 worksheet tab. We're going to click in cell L3. I'm going to type the word item. Then I'm going to click in cell M3 and I'm going to type the word frequency. Just to separate this from the worksheet. Now, in order to find all of our unique items, I'm going to show you something cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the range D4 all the way down to the bottom, D97. We're going to click the Home tab, and in the Clipboard group we're going to click the Copy icon. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in cell L4. I'm going to click my Paste icon. Now, making sure that I still have this range selected, this will not work unless this range is selected. I'm going to click Data, my Data tab, and in the Data Tools group, I'm going to click an icon that says Remove Duplicates. So I'm going to click Remove Duplicates. It asks me if I want to do the entire worksheet. No, I only want to remove the duplicates from column L, so I just want to continue with the current selection. So I click Remove Duplicates, and then I click OK, and I now have 13 unique values. Now I'm going to click cell M4. I'm going to click Formulas. In the Function Library group, I'm going to click the down arrow under More Functions. I'm going to choose Statistical, and under Statistical, I'm going to scroll down until I see COUNTIF. Alright, so the range that I'm going to count is column D. So I'm going to select the range D4 all the way down to D97. But it's really important we have to put in the dollar signs. So I'm going to hit my F4 key before I type in the criteria, or for your Mac users you can use your own shortcut or just type in the dollar signs, but the range needs to say $D $4 to $D97. Then I'm going to click in the criteria box, and in the criteria I'm just going to click on cell L4. Airframe fasteners. Notice I get a count of 14. I click OK. Because I've input this formula correctly, it will always count the same range, but it will change the item description. So now all I have to do is double click the fill handle, and I have now created a frequency distribution for the purchase order items. If you would like to create a chart that is similar to figure 3.34, we'll just select the range L3 down to M16, insert, we'll do a column chart and a 2D column chart, and we can now see all of the relative frequencies of all of our different items. Now we're going to move on to example 3.17, where we're going to construct a relative frequency. So we're going to use the same worksheet. We're not going to use the EX 3.17 worksheet because we need these numbers. So in order to construct a relative frequency, I'm going to click away from the chart, and I'm going to have to total all of the frequencies. So in cell L17, I'm going to type the word total. I'm going to click in cell M17. Notice how it filled in the formula. but I'm going to change that formula, making sure that you're on the Home tab. I'm just going to click the Auto Sum group, and notice it has now changed the formula from the COUNTIF to just sum all of the frequencies. And I hit enter, and I have a total of 94, which agrees with the chart that's on the top of page 95. Now, to construct a relative frequency, we're just going to take every frequency and divide by the total. So in cell N3, I'm just going to type the word relative. And in cell N4, I'm going to type the formula equals M4 divided by the total, which is in M17. But before I hit enter, I'm going to hit that F4 key on my keyboard, or just type in the dollar signs to change the M17 to $M$17. So we'll change the first number, so it'll first divide the airframe fasteners and the shielded cable and the bolt nut package, but it will divide each one by the total. I hit enter. They're using decimals, so I can just click on cell N4 and double click that fill handle to copy the formula all the way down, and we can copy our total formula to make sure that our frequencies add up to 1, which is what they should. Now let's move on to example 3.18, where we're going to use the Excel histogram tool. So let's click on example EX 3.18 worksheet tab, and notice I created a little chart on the side where we can calculate the different AP terms, the frequency, and then our relative frequency. So now we're going to do exactly the same thing with the AP terms that we did in the last exercise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the range H4 all the way down to H97. I'm going to hit my copy icon, making sure that I'm on the Home tab. I'm going to click in cell L4. I'm going to click my paste icon, still on the Home tab, and then go to my Data tab. And in the Data Tools group, I'm going to click my Remove Duplicates. And once again, I don't want to expand the selection to include the entire table. I only want to take the duplicates out of column L, so I click Continue with the current selection and Remove Duplicates, and I click OK. And I have my 4 unique values. We'd like to sort that in order, so I'm going to click any one of the 30, 45, 25, or 15, any one of those numbers, click my Home tab, and then sort smallest to largest, and I now have 15, 25, 30, and 45. So now we're going to use that COUNTIF to calculate the frequency, and then we will calculate that relative frequency. So I'm going to click in cell M4. I'm going to type equals COUNTIF. This time I won't use the paste function, we'll just type it. Open the parentheses. The first thing it wants is the range, so our range is going to be column H, so I'm going to click on H4 and select the range H4 to H97, and once again, because we're copying the formula, we want to hit that F4 key and change it to $H, $4 to $H97. Now we have the range, we type a comma, and for the criteria, we're just going to click on cell L4. So as I copy it down, it'll change the 15 to 25, 30, and 45, but always count the exact same range. So I'm going to close up my parentheses, hit enter, click back on cell M4, and double click that fill handle to calculate all of my frequencies. I will then click in cell M8 below that, making sure I'm on my Home tab. Click the Auto Sum button. Hit Enter to sum up all of my frequencies. And now to calculate my relative frequency, I'm going to click in cell N4. I'm going to type equals M4 divided by M8, but the second one, hit the F4, change that to $M $8, double click the fill handle, and I've calculated all of my relative frequencies. In the last example that we're going to do in this video, let's use Excel's histogram tool. So I'm going to click on the EX 3.19 worksheet tab, and notice in column L I have typed bin. What we want to do is we want to put in a bin. I'll show you at the end what will happen if we don't specify a bin. So to specify a bin, what we're going to do is we're going to put all of our AP terms in. So we're going to do the same thing that we did before, copy and then remove duplicates. So I'm going to click on cell H4, select all the way down to H97, my Home tab, click Copy. Now I'm going to click in cell L4, click the Paste icon. Without moving away, without deselecting the range, I'm going to click the Data tab, and then in the Data Tools group, remove duplicates. We've done this several times already, and it's just telling me the only column it's going to do is bin. So I click OK. I have my 4 unique values, and now I'm going to click the Home tab, and I'm just going to sort them smallest to largest. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use the histogram tool. So I'm going to click on Data, and then in the Analyze group I'm going to click Data Analysis. If you don't see the Analyze group or you don't see Data Analysis, you need to click on File, and then down at the bottom, Options. Click your add-ins under Excel Options, second from the bottom. Right on the bottom, you might have to scroll down. At the bottom where it says Manage Excel Add-ins, just click Go, and then make sure that your Analysis Tool Pack is checked, and then click OK. And then you should see your Data Analysis group in the Data Analysis icon in the Analyze group. So right now I'm going to click Data Analysis, and I am going to click Histogram. The input range for my histogram is going to be my column H. I'm actually going to start on cell H3 because there are advantages to including the labels. So I'm going to click on H3 all the way down to H97, and then make sure that my labels button is checked, because again I chose the label. I chose to start at H3. Now I'm going to click in bin range. I'm going to scroll up. Now what's very important in the bin range is I have to start from L3. I have to include a title because I have a label. I have to include a label. If not, if I started from L4, what would happen is the 15 would be considered a label, and it would only give me bins of 25, 30, and 45. So for my bin range, I'm going to select L3 all the way down to L7, and I'm going to choose to output this on this worksheet. So I'm just going to click where it says Output Range. I'm going to click in the box where it says Output Range, and I'm going to click on cell L10. Now what we want to do, if we wanted to create a chart as well, what we're going to do before we click OK is check the box that says Chart Output, and we click OK. And notice we have each one of our bins. We have the frequency, which should match exactly what we did in exercise 3.18. And then we have a nice little chart, and we could always remove the More group from the chart if we want.